You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute. I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and she is not dead. While I am nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she... And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics, unless, of course... Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it. It's a secret, but I think you'll like it. It's a special reward, just for you. Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But then each... So sure, go, talk to her. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save... Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that, the blade is your implement. You'll need it if you take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the prince. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room. Her voice carries up.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost... Don't let it fool you.
Oh, it's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the... She's so coldly beautiful. Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something? Then why did you bring a knife with you? How about you drop it, and then we can...
She makes a compelling point. What if we just dropped the blade and talk? Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do afterward. The blade tumbles out of your...
Thank you. Maybe now we can just...
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just...
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship. I know. I just...
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long...
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so... dangerous?
Princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever
I don't think I can answer that question in a way you'd find. At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation?
She's right about one thing. Her
Like I said, it's all about... So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less. She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a...
Too long.
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of... She isn't suggesting what I... She is.
Oh? Have you decided...
You know why you're... That seems like a pretty good compromise. Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. You can make it easy, and if you don't, I can promise that you'll come to regret that decision.
You have to make a choice. You charge the princess, blade trembling in your... She casually sidesteps your thrust before knocking you to the ground with a sing. We shouldn't have hesitated. But she doesn't stop there. She kicks you a few times for good measure, the pointed tip of her shoes feet as you lie, crushed and broken on the basement floor. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your...
Is this really the best you could do? Look at you.
She applies more pressure. This is the end. I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path, you're here to slay her. A terrible sense of deja vu. No, if he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's better. You know I can hear you, right? What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we can do to stop her. She's just going to... She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world... a warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. We might as well just pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending we're capable of doing anything in this. Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge? I'm not being a pessimist. You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone. I agree. If she's wrongfully imprisoned, then we should rescue her, but if he's telling the truth, we shouldn't just hand her the world on a silver platter. Rescue her? Given the stakes of the situation, there isn't really a difference between rescuing her and... So please, try to ignore both of those knuckleheads and... If that's what you want. The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive... The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so? We don't feel. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen. You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess. The door to the basement creaks open. It's still a stone basement. Her booming voice...
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on this.
You weren't kidding. We need to get down there. Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? It doesn't matter what that little voice says. Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort. Every step the princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass. The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do.
The little bird has returned to me. You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Drop it!
As if on command, the blade slips from your... But we didn't drop it. We decided to grip it tighter, remember? I have a duty to report facts as facts, and the fact is that you dropped... Of course we dropped it. She's so much... Oh, I understand what's going on.
Kneel! Oh, are you still trying to defy... Kneel!
Your legs buckle, and your knees hit...
That's my good little bird. The last time we met, you told me I was destined to end the world. That thought wrapped itself around my heart. It has pulled at me since the moment I squeezed the light. I could feel its fundamental truth. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new. And the world as it is. It's time for me to seize my destiny. And you, little...
Well, that gives away the game. It certainly does. And beyond that, it more than lends credence to our conversation in the woods. I don't love the thought that in some other reality you failed to destroy her, but what's done? You are the only one who can deal with her. And if you don't, well, then you shouldn't have trusted us with her destruction. He's being melodramatic, but he's not exactly wrong, is he? Okay, first things first, you're going to have to stuff those pessimistic thoughts someplace far the stakes of the situation.
Know the limits of your privilege, little bird. There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. Your will was so easily all you need to do now is break my chains.
If this is what you want, then I guess there's not... No. You can't just give in to her, not when the stakes are...
There's still something in the way. A greasy film inside of... Is that a person?
That's impossible. impossible. She's not supposed to be able to.
You're a small one, aren't you? A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits. Trying.
No. What are you talking about?
I don't care what you are.
Ah!
Rise, my little bird.
Without hesitation, you're brought to.
Break my.
And how are we supposed to do that? All you need to do is. You poor, wretched little thing. You already do believe. You've always believed. All you have to do is open the last door to your heart. It's easy. Please don't do this. There's nothing to be sorry about. Alright, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna go. Her chains shatter, and the cuff falls from her wrist.
What a good disciple. Nothing.
She's gone. Oh, and there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? Right. She'd feel anxious. There's something I don't want to look at. There is. Figures the world. I'm begging you.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel. Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one is dominance. Do not mourn her, for she would not be able to mourn you. I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you? A person, a set of eyes witnessing from one perspective. We are oceans, reduced. You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. How can the world have ended if she is part of me? You speak in circles. I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free. You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sad. I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be. I promise. I know only that nothing as we are, but I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are. There is no exit. But this vessel is a creature of perception. Bring me more perspectives, so then we will be here forever. Everything. not lived. More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. If you need time, you are as I am now, and I am not you, but I. What textures will you weave for yourself to occupy forever? Will you place the images of you and I? If you close that box, will you become another? You'll always come back to the box.